Hello everyone, welcome to my video of attack simulation on Kerberosting. In this video, we're going to talk about the Kerberosting, what is Kerberosting, what could be the impact if attacker using the Kerberosting to get the password from the service account, how it works, how a SOC team get the alert, what could be the further monitoring and investigation steps can be followed, and what further remediation need to be placed to prevent this attack to be happen or to after detection of this attack how we can avoid any impact in the network. So let's start the video. What is the curve roasting? So many people knows curve roasting, but they are missing the understanding about how this is performed by the attacker in curve roasting. So let's make it very simple for you to understand. Curve roasting is a post exploitation attack. It means attacker can perform the curve roasting only with a compromised machine in the network or with a compromised user account in the network. So after getting the initial access to a machine or in the network with a user account, attacker can perform this attack. This attack is based on the Kerberos authentication protocol, which is a primary authentication protocol in the domain network. Whenever you are sending any request to the domain controller, Kerberos authentication protocol will be the primary authentication protocol, will accept and authorize your request in the network or the user request or the machine request. This attack basically extract the password for the service account from the service tickets, and then not the exactly password, it's extract the hashes or the hash of the service account, and then they do the brute force on this hashes in the offline machine. So you will see the extraction of the hashes, and then brute force can be done in their offline machine. You may not see any request of the brute force on the password because they extract the hashes and then they do the brute force on that hashes in their local machine. So now we understand what is Kerberosting. Kerberosting is a post-exploitation attack which performed by the attacker after gaining the initial access to the machine or a new account, exploiting the weakness in the Kerber authentication protocol for extracting the hash of the service account associated with the service principal names. Prerequisite. What will be the prerequisite to perform this attack? The prerequisite to perform this attack is to have access to the internal machine or internal network and the user account. So let's say when I put internal machine, right? Do you believe if attacker is using its own Kali machine in the network, is it possible for attacker to still perform the curve roasting? Yes, because attacker have access to the internal network. So either to get the access to the internal machine or to the internal network, attacker can perform the curve roasting attack. When I'm saying internal machine, it means attacker have already got the access to the internal machine, which is connected already in the network. The second part is the user account. To perform this attack, attacker should have access to the user account to perform or initiate this request. So let's now understand what is the normal behavior, because to find out any attacker activity, it's important to understand the normal activity when someone as a normal user or normal machine trying to authenticate to the domain controller, and when attacker trying to authenticate is identity to the domain controller. So let's see. Basically, these highlights are from the previous video, and no worries. I will make try to make you understand, and you can still post comments if you have any questions or doubts. I will try to come and provide another video if it is not clear to you. Okay, so you can see the request timing of this activity is from 6:10 to 6:25. So 10-minute request timing we have highlight. We can see, and it's very important that you should understand all the information available in the logs to better understand the logs and can conclude and analyze the logs in a better way. If you don't know how to analyze the logs, then you cannot be a good analyst. You should understand the meaning of all this information available in the logs for writing the use case, for investigation, and providing the corrective recommendation which can be followed to remediate this attack. So we can see this request is being logged on domain controller. This request is coming from the machine. Why I said machine? In my previous content of the video course or the book, I've clearly mentioned that dollar account is used by the computer machine to store the computer accounts, because in Windows computer machines store the identity separately. They store the user account separately, they store the computer account separately. Any name ending with the dollar sign are the computer accounts. We can see the event code 4768, the ticket encryption type 0x12, ticket option, service name, and the client address which has sent this request. The other request just above it, the same request. Yeah. Now let's deep dive to understand the meaning of each values and fields. So 4768 is used for sending the TGT request. If you are not familiar with the event logs and the signature name, then it would be difficult for you to understand the log again, because it is an important part of the analysis that SOC team, SOC analyst should understand the meaning of each event code, event name, event signatures. What does it mean when it will trigger and how it could be used during the investigation. So 4768 is used when anyone sending the TGT request to the domain controller. And we can see the ticket encryption type is 0x12, which, which it means that it was used for the machines came after the Windows Server 8 and I think Vista. So there is a specific reason and the purpose of this information available in the logs for the analysis and for the investigation. If you miss this, then you will be missing the proper investigation of the attack and the log analysis as well. Ticket option also have some specific meaning here, that any ticket option helps you to understand if this request is coming from the new device, from the proxy, from the forwarder. It's a new request. What is the type of this request? And the service name, you can see this Kerberos request and the client machine which has initiated this request. After sending the TGT request, the client machine, again the computer machine trying to send the 4769 means a service request with the ticket encryption option, ticket option, the client machine. This is happened because when I switched on the machine tried to authenticate to the domain controller by sending these two different type of requests, 4768 and 4769. You can see this happen at 6:10 at same time. After 5 minutes of time, I used account test one to log in from the machine to the domain controller. You see the another request, service TGT request with 4768, ticket encryption type, ticket option, service name, the machine, and then another request for service request. So similarly, like a machine request was sent, first TGT service request, account request also sent in a similar fashion. Test 1 4768 TGT request, test 1 service request. After 10 minutes later on, once I authenticated, I logged off. I put a wrong password trying to log in again with the wrong password. Then you see 4771. There are many people who still not understand that 4771 when you trying to authenticate to the domain controller. Guys, it's very important that you should complete the course which I have already given the access to the people. If you don't have access yet, don't worry. I'll be coming and posting the free coupon codes. I'll be coming in different events giving my book for free. So please just make sure that you are subscribed my channel.